Hi, this is Scott Siskin. I'm the president of First Republic Mortgage Bankers. When you need a mortgage, call First Republic Mortgage Bankers and deal direct. Eliminate the middleman. No mortgage broker fees. Stop wasting your hard-earned money on your high-rate mortgage and your credit cards. You can save every single month by refinancing. You personally can save every month by locking in the lowest rates in over 30 years. And we make house calls to the entire tri-state area 7 days a week. Call 718-380-0006 if you're buying a home or you want to refinance your home. 718-380-0006.
But of course, we link with our studios back in the North Bronx. Link Up Media's 3868 White Plains Road, Link Up Radio Studios. And it's time for me to speak with one of our core sponsors who were in the building yesterday in the Bronx. And that happens to be First Republic Mortgage Bankers. Folks, let's just link up with Eddie Alber and find out if he has any comment on what I just noted, because I know he needs to correct a lot of things out there for a lot of folks, and a lot of folks can get correction by way of Eddie Alber, a loan officer from First Republic Mortgage Bankers. But before he talks about that possible correction for you, I want to hear what he has to say on my comments. Eddie Alber, welcome to Link Up Radio. It's yet another Monday, man.
How you doing, Squeeze? Everything
is mighty fine.
Everything is great. You know, I was just taking in what you were saying about the weather. You know, it's amazing. We were in the single digits a week ago, and here we are up to 60 degrees, you know. It's scary stuff, though, with that global warming stuff, and we do have to really take care of ourselves. I think for future generations anyway. I mean, you know, we really have to clean up our act. You know, pollution is definitely, you know, recycling and pollution. There's a lot of things we can control out there, and hopefully, like you said, the powers that be are really, and I know they're working on things at the present moment. I'm just hoping that they really start to put these things in place quickly before we do have some of those disasters that are happening in other parts of the world. But on that being said, there are some things we can take care of in-house.
For future generations also.
Yeah, for future generations. You know, it's really time. It's 2008. It's time to get your tune-up, your financial tune-up. And it's real important that the listeners out there really start making a plan, because I know a lot of people were stressed out, and I spoke to hundreds of people, if not thousands, last year between the seminars and working at First Republic, that they're behind on their bills. Credit cards are eating them alive. Now they have the holiday bills added on to that, you know, the bills that they already originally had that they were struggling with. They're going to be coming due in January and February, and people need to act. They need to get a plan of action, and it's real simple. I mean, we make it real simple at First Republic. With all the choices that we have and all the options and the experience that we have, that we've been doing this for years, when people come, they call the office or they come in and we go to them, we can actually have a plan of attack to take the stress out and make 2008 a better year for them than 2007 was. But you really can't sit back and say, well, maybe not. You know, you have to be I'm a very positive individual. You have to stay positive out there, and you got to believe that somebody can help you, and you've got to be able to make a phone call. That's all we're asking you to do, is make a phone call and let us look personally at your situation and tell you what options are available. And you need to do this every so often. I like to do it personally every year, take a look at my own situation. And I think it would behoove most listeners out there to say, you know, it's January. Let me make January better than last January. And that's by, and let's face it, nobody likes to get a bunch of bills every month. Nobody likes to open up those envelopes. And you know what? You can change that. You can simplify your life. You can make one payment, one bill. All the people that I've been working with over the years, once they've refinanced and I set them on a plan and they have one bill, those people don't get into trouble. They just don't. Nobody's getting in trouble with one bill if it's their mortgage payment, because they're getting a tax deduction on that. What's happening to people is they're having 1, 2 car payments, student loans, credit card debt, and several other installment loans added on to their mortgage. So now they've got to worry about all these things. They're not looking in one direction. They're getting bombarded with bills, and they need to consolidate and simplify. It would be so nice, I'm sure, for the listeners out there to say, you know what? Oh, my mortgage is coming due on the 1st of next month, and I have 15 days to pay it. It's only one bill, though. just one bill. I'll make that payment. And most people put in that situation, more than 90% of the time, are making that mortgage payment on time with no penalties. But the people, the listeners out there that have several cards, car loans, installment debt, student loans, tacked onto their mortgage payment, they're the people that are running into problems. So if you own your home for 3, 4, 5 years, there's no reason why you shouldn't be trying to simplify your life if you have those credit issues. But you need to have a format. You need to make the call. You need to say, you know what, I'm going to make this a better year than last year, and I'm going to open up all my bills, and I'm going to look at the interest rates that I'm paying on these cards, and I'm going to finally simplify my life by getting rid of them. And we're going to we'll tear them up. There's no reason why most individuals out there need 10 or 15 credit cards. There's no reason for it. You can get I have 2 credit cards. I think Scott has 2. I mean, there's no reason to have 15 cards. You don't need it. A Visa, a Master, American Express, whatever your choice is, but you don't need to have all those credit cards.
That is so true. Now, a lot of folks might be saying, you know what, Eddie, how can you say we don't need more than 2 credit cards? What if we need money? We need to just go out there and get some credit cards and get some money out of that. Or is there another route, Eddie Albert? Is there another route that they can tap into and get some cash rather than going out there and getting more credit cards with high interest rates? Or maybe some of us just love to have a lot of credit cards in our wallet so that when we open it up, you can see the Black American Express, you can see the Platinum, you can see the Gold, even the Blue, okay, and even the Green, and also the MasterCards, the Visa cards. Maybe we just need to be able to profile that wallet that says, I have tons of credit cards. Maybe that's the right thing to do in the year 2008. Is that so, Mr. Eddie Albert?
Squeeze, we all know the answer to that, but, we have to have a little self-discipline. And there is a much better option than taking money out of credit cards because you're getting charged 20 to 30%, and you're not getting anything back from Uncle Sam. You're not getting a write-off. You can't write that off, unlike years ago we had certain write-offs. Now the only write-off we still have is basically our mortgage payment and our taxes. So what you want to do is, and I always tell people, if you're going to have debt, make it be positive debt, meaning it mortgage debt. If it's a credit card, it's a negative debt because you don't get, first of all, you're paying 20 to 30%. Why not switch it to an FHA debt at 5.5%? If somebody's in a 28% tax bracket, that's, you're in a 4% debt range instead of 30% off, 25%. So, you can tap if you need that 10, 15, 20, 25, 50 grand, and you have had your home for 3, 4, 5, 7 years. You obviously have home equity. You have cash. May not be in your wallet when you open it up and flash it, but you do have cash available to you. So you need to know debt is debt. People say, well, I don't want to tap my home. Well, let's face it. Debt is debt. I don't care what you call it. If it's something that you owe, it is a debt. So make it a positive debt by getting a 5.5% interest rate and then getting something back on that when you file your taxes. And your taxes are going to be due soon. You're going to be filing your taxes. So get an increased write-off. The more you get back from Uncle Sam, the better off you're going to be. And it's always nice if you do simplify your life and get rid of all those high interest rate credit cards, transfer the negative debt into one positive experience by taking one loan. And instead of sitting there at the end of the month and writing out 30 checks, try writing one. Try writing one check.
Absolutely.
First Republic Mortgage Bankers is a licensed mortgage banker, direct lender in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Florida, Delaware, Maryland, Georgia, South Carolina, headquartered at 110 Jericho Turnpike, Floral Park, New York.